Back again with another fresh cut. You are now tuned into the underground. My name is Mbaya. I go by the doctor. In this video, I will be demonstrating a back taper. I will get into the side taper on how to do it, but this will be a quick tutorial breaking down the steps. So the first thing that I do, of course, is just kind of debulk. I freehand it. No guard, just kind of removing some of those curls at the very bottom in the nape area. Then right away, I get my trimmer and I zero out the bottom. So I'm gonna do a very low taper, but I'm going to kind of create an arched look. I do want the taper to have a blowout look. This isn't very traditional for many, but it is conventional nowadays. It's kind of popular to the point where it's very normal to arch it. Next, I'm going to go in with my clipper lever all the way open. Go up about a ½ inch, then I'll close it immediately right after to erase that guideline that I just created. Little by little, adjust the lever according and use the open and close technique consistently to achieve a smooth blend. Up next, you switch over to the one guard and use the same open and close technique. You open up all the way, you go up a ½ inch, and you close the lever immediately after creating the guideline to zero out that bottom line you just created. Simple, right? As I always say, in order to achieve blurry blends, there are no shortcuts. So make sure that when you are executing these steps, you stay consistent. Open where you need to open, close the lever where you need to close it. Just please be sure to adjust the lever accordingly so you're not creating guidelines that will cause you to keep on going higher and higher, trying to fix the messed up work that you are creating. This process is a very repetitive flow. It's not that difficult. All you're doing is opening. Then immediately after you create the guideline with the open lever, you close it to erase that bottom line little by little. Your only goal here is to follow these steps in order to achieve that blurry blend. These are the fundamental steps that are required to achieve any kind of blend that you are looking to do. It could be a taper, a tapered fade, or a bald fade. No matter what the haircut is, these steps will work. You could be doing a low fade, as in drop fade, a medium fade, a high fade, a burst fade, South of France, whatever you want to call it, a mohawk. It will work. Whatever angle you choose to go about this, it will work. I promise you. You can do a square, you can do a rectangle, you can do a arch, a half moon, curve, whatever you want to call it, it will work. You will blend out whatever the guideline. Now that I have achieved my blend, all that's left over to do is work my way down. As you can see, I worked my way up, creating the guidelines and blending. Now I'm cleaning up by working my way down. So I go from the highest guard, which was a number 3, and work my way down to no guard. So I'm just kind of flicking away, removing all the weight line that I see. Just be sure to adjust accordingly to the level of the hair. So that way you're not creating new guidelines that will cause you to have to start fixing. You don't want to drag on the service forever. Now, if my process of how I'm doing this may take longer for you, it just means you have to kind of practice it. It seems a little complex, but it's really not. It's very straightforward. It's easy steps. There's really only 3 steps to remember. Even less when you get more used to it, because all you do is open, you close, and you start to adjust the lever according to the hair that you're seeing. You have to be the judge. This just won't automatically happen because you move the lever a certain way. It should work out that way, but you got to remember, factor in people's hair texture. This determines a lot on what tools to use for the haircut, how much time you will take on the haircut, how fast you move, as well as the difficulty level that you may face depending on how well that client takes care of their hair. Do they shampoo? Do they comb? Do they brush? How often do they get their haircut? This is all things to factor in. Anyways, now that the lineup is prepped, everything's ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and start up my lineup. I'm going to work my way from the back. I'm going to go around the ear first. Then I'm going to make sure that I get a nice clean arched lineup, working all the way down to the nape. During the lineup, usually I would use a brush, but because of the hair texture that I am working with and the style of taper that we're doing here, I need to keep everything dark. So I'm going to go ahead and use a comb. As you can see, this helps pull out anything that gets left behind. I can bring it out and remove all those imperfections. If I decide to use a brush because of the length of the hair, I'm not going to be able to bring out any extra excess hair that I leave behind in order to be able to clean it up properly. So make sure that you use a comb, not a brush, because the tools that you choose to use can make you or break you. I mean, just think about it for a second. If he goes home, the moment that he washes or shampoos his hair, he will see the imperfections that are left over from you not using the appropriate tools to achieve great work. Do not do yourself and the client a disservice of making shortcuts. Repeat the same steps that you took on the left side onto the right. Make sure that you have a symmetrical lineup that matches and reflects like a mirror image of the left. Take your time, do not rush. Now that I have the back taper completed, I'm going to move on to the side taper. Using the same steps that I took on the back, I'm going to use on the right side. I'm going to maintain the same look, keep it dark, don't go too low. Of course, I'm going to bald out the taper. I'm going to place the guideline at the very bottom, but I will angle it slightly so that I can keep some of that C cup. Now, he has a very interesting texture, which I have to definitely address because the blades almost miss his hair always. But as I get this started, I really want to apologize for the angle. I don't know what I was thinking. I had no idea where I really had the camera positioned, and I stood right in front of it the whole time. But of course, the first thing that I did here is open the lever all the way with no guard. Then I closed it all the way and started to erase the guideline that I had just created. By the way, just a FYI, my client does wear glasses. So there's a hard mark in the taper, which may have the taper looking as if it's not finished or blended out, but this is because of his glasses. How do we remove this? It's just a matter of how much longer he has the glasses off. But I will have him put them back on so that this makes plenty of sense towards the end of the video. So stay tuned, just keep on watching. And if you have not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, but you need to hit that subscribe button now. If you know somebody that may find this video informative, please share the video. Leave a comment if you have any questions on what I am doing here. Definitely will be more than glad to help. If you are on any other platforms, please follow me on my Facebook, my IG, my TikTok. I will link all that in the description below. So definitely stay tuned. I have content that comes out daily on all those platforms. And if you have any requests for anything that you would like for me to demonstrate in the future, please leave a comment. I will be more than glad to put out a video that will help you with whatever your requests are. For anyone that is wondering what guards that I used for this service, it was only a 0.5 all the way up to a number 3. And of course, using the same technique, which is the open and close, I consistently use this all the way from no guard to the 0.5, the 1, the 2, and the number 3 guard as well. This helped me with the smooth transition all the way through, giving me an achievement of the blurry blend. Never skip any steps when it comes to blurry blends. Now that the line is nice and prepped, I'm going to go ahead and use my Babyliss Rose Gold FX trimmer to make sure that I create this nice clean 3D lineup. I'm going to go ahead and start with the vertical bar. We don't really line them up on the front forehead. We just keep that natural and let the curls come down. So I'm going to go ahead, get my vertical bar slightly and start working on my C cup. I start off at the bottom using only the corners of the blade to make a nice clean C. And that is how you do a taper the exquisite way. This service is pretty much complete. All that's left to do now is just the finishing touch-ups. I'm going to go ahead and keep on detailing the lineup on the corner here on the vertical bar as well as the C cup. Then I will move over to the facial hair. I'm just going to pretty much do a nice little cleanup on this, and that's it. But if you found this video helpful, please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and like the video. I really would appreciate if you also follow me on my different platforms. Get me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, you name it, I got you covered. If you know anybody, if I didn't mention this before, if you know anyone that may find this video informative, please share this to them. If you don't have my social media by now, you need to follow me ASAP. Please subscribe to this channel. Like I said, nothing but free game all day. This is all information that you will be needing, especially if you are a beginner barber. Anyways, that's it for this one, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one.